of them. Now 8-4 in front.
What a start to the day. Few would have predicted that Zhao Xintong would win all 4 frames against Ronnie O'Sullivan this morning.
Yeah, I know. He looks very, very sharp. And unfortunately for Ronnie and his fans, he doesn't look sharp at all. Problems with the tip, I would say. So now he's changed tip. He's getting a bit more reaction on this. Yeah. And with just a couple of examples, I mean, have a look at this black. He's over-screwed this by some distance, you know. It's flew off the cue ball, and he's out of position. He's played left hand, he's missed it, and then another shot, this safety shot, and this is a problem that he's been having all week.
Before he took the shot, he might miss this.
Yeah, he could miss it. He's got to hit the outside. It's a very tough shot, length of the table, but he has to hit the red, because if he doesn't, he needs a snooker. So even if you leave the red on, just make sure you hit it and try and get as much distance as possible. He's trying to play the perfect shot. Too much side, too much swerve, and it's gone.
I presume he's going to go into the practice room and try and get some sort of rhythm going with that tip.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say so, because he looks all at sea, you know. It's very, very worrying. Plus the fact, I mean, every mistake that he's making, you know, is being pounced upon by his opponent, who looks so calm, so relaxed, so confident. But when your opponent is playing like that, as Ronnie O'Sullivan is, that is going to give you confidence, because you can see he's on edge, he's making mistakes, he's giving him chances, and Zhao Xintong, in fairness, he looks so good, so relaxed.
Well, I spoke to Zhao Xintong after he won his quarter-final match, and I said about who he'd rather play in the semi-final. He said, oh, it'd be great to get an all-China match, but obviously it'd be amazing if he played against Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's the best player in the world. And you can see almost that the respect is there, but it's changed from respect to now enjoyment of doing this against Ronnie on the biggest stage.
Well, the fear factor, there's no fear factor, and that was the big question. Was he going to be totally in awe of his hero and be like a rabbit in the headlights, which could have been understandable, but there's no fear factor. He's loving every minute of it out there. It's like his stage. You know, this guy is going to be a big, big star in the game, you know, for many, many years. But this is his biggest match that he's played.
All right, we're going to turn our attention to the other semi-final now between the world #1 Judd Trump and 3-time champion Mark Williams. Now, after the first 6 frames, they were tied at 3 frames each. We're going to join the action in frame 7. Williams at the table, 1 point ahead with 5 colours remaining. Sean Murphy and John Virgo were watching this one.
Oh, it's affecting both of them. Never underestimate pressure, Sean.
Oh, it's incredible what it can do to you out there.
And I think it's the mistakes that both players have made are just building up in the mind, aren't they? You know, and that green that Judd had a go at, I mean, he just bashed at it. Nothing smooth.
Needs cover on this using the brown. It's a very well-controlled shot. Knew he was sending the green towards that corner pocket. Nothing lucky about that. Can Mark swerve around that brown? Maybe clip the cushion first and maybe pot the green. Is it on?
It's not beyond the realms of possibility. He'll play the swerve because he's got to move the green anyway. Can he judge it? Judged to perfection. Where's the brown ball gonna finish? Where's it gonna finish? Over the pocket.
Mark Williams 3.
A gift for Judd Trump. Yeah, shake of the head. He'll now be thinking, maybe I shouldn't have gone for that brown. It was tough playing at that pace. That brown going in makes the points all square. And he's not got the right side of the blue. but only needs blue and pink.
Nine.
Just about pulled up in time. Pink for a topsy-turvy frame. But in it goes.
On the frame.
Frame that could have gone out of the way. Mark Williams had his chance. Judd Trump had his chance. But in the end, he got the final one. And he leads 4-3.
So the world number one back in the lead by 4 frames to 3. We'll join it for the final frame of the session. Mark Williams at the table, and there's no score.
That might be a slight tactical error there from Mark, who's given Judd the opportunity to skim off one of these reds. Side cushion onto the ball cushion, use the green as the snookering ball.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, Sean, if he doesn't get a good cue ball, Mark Williams could take that pot on. Can he get past the green? So it's red to the left corner. Because the cue ball's not tight to the cushion. He can. And he's got it. What a pot! I think the fact that the cue ball's a little bit away from the cushion, when Judd had the opportunity, he was a bit closer, but nevertheless, take nothing away from that pot. Oh, well.
Mark Williams 1.
Boy, that's annoying.
Yeah, there's a few moving parts there, wasn't there? It was head up, wasn't still. You can be in as good alignment as you want. If you don't stay still on the shot, they're not going in.
1.
An excellent chance for Judd to establish a 2-frame lead now overnight. These are the types of chances that he's been mopping up throughout this event. Been far and away the best scorer, break builder, potter in the whole tournament. The best player in any department. We haven't seen that tonight. But there are no pictures on a scorecard. It doesn't matter.
9.
Yeah, and Stephen Hendry always says, if you have a bad session, make certain you get the best you can out of it. And if he goes in this evening, 5-3 in front,
4.
he'll have a lot to think about and a lot to be disappointed with, but he'll just look at the scoreline and think, well, it's not all that bad. Come back tomorrow and produce the form he's shown so far in the tournament.
15.
He's been gifted this chance. Couldn't be a better one. Red's nicely spread, doesn't have to play too many cannons. All that he needs are in the middle of the table. Just good control of the cue ball should do it.
20. $21. $27. 28.
Walking round positively, so I assume he's on this red to the left corner. Slightly hampered, but if he's nothing to
35.
do with the cue ball, it's not a problem.
36.
Ooh, another cannon. Now then, is he okay?
43.
Well, he must be, because he's down on the shot, so nearly went wrong.
44.
But it's hard to see him making a mistake now. No more cannons required. Reds he needs in the open. And Mark Williams will be sat in his seat, seething.
51.
What a chance he had.
52.
Wrong side the blue, but I think the red passes the green. So if it does, no problem. Well, he's having a look to see if it does, so he certainly didn't play to be wrong side of the blue. But it does go, clearly.
It would be typical, though, wouldn't it, of the world number one, when he senses the moment, when he gets his chance to push on and take that lead overnight, that he produces his best snooker of the session. Absolutely typical.
58.
Isn't this what Davis did, Hendry did, O'Sullivan did, and all the other great world number ones before him?
That's perfect.
62.
That should be the positional shot that gives him this 8th frame and a 5-3
63.
lead. He'll be relieved, Sean, I've no doubt.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely will. No question about it. And as we said earlier on in the session, it doesn't matter who you are and how many times you've done this out here, in the hallowed grounds
70.
of the Crucible Theatre. It still takes some getting used to. Every time you go
70.
out there.
Well, we saw a century early on in this evening from Mark
78.
Williams. I'll be amazed if we don't
79.
see another one now from Judd Trump. His cue arm will be relaxed, frame's over. He knows he's going to take a 2-frame lead overnight.
84. $85. Cheers, Sean. Thanks. $92. 93.
Well, wonderful. Mark Williams made the mistake, but there was no hesitation from Judd Trump.
102.
Career century 1085. Remarkable. But he's not shown that kind of form
105.
tonight. But to come out with a 2-frame advantage at the end of his worst session of the championship so far shows that. And a bit of naughty snooker to finish off with.
109.
So I get the hint. He's delighted. It'll go in somewhere, surely. Well, probably both players will say it's not the best session they've had, but nevertheless it was intriguing. Judd Trump with the upper hand has a 5-3 lead overnight.
And Mark Williams has already been in the practice tables this morning to sharpen his game up ahead of their resumption this afternoon at Trump 5-3 ahead. They go again at 2:30 p.m. today on BBC Two. Ken, I thought Judd Trump would have been delighted with the way he grafted to earn that lead last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a sort of a war of attrition in the early parts of that. But there was a couple of lovely centuries as well. But great drama, you know, and it just goes to show, even though Judd Trump was massive favourite going into this match, Mark Williams, you know, you cannot discount. He's such a wonderful player and one of the great icons of the sport that you can never discount him.
We've spoken so much about the way Judd Trump has morphed from that exciting, daring player to one who's got every facet covered now.
Yeah, he's really developed his game over the last few years, and he's been a dominant, you know, snooker player. He's dominated the game over the last 5 or 6 years. But yes, he's worked on that different parts of his game and can play any type of game, even in the breaks down, you know.
OK, well, of course, Judd Trump and Mark Williams back at 2:30 this afternoon, but we're going to refocus for Ronnie O'Sullivan and Zhao Xingtong and show you what happened in the first 4 frames of snooker today. Quite incredible. Four frames to Zhao Xingtong this morning. Ronnie O'Sullivan had no answer to what the 28-year-old from China produced in the Crucible Theatre this morning. Worrying signs for fans of the 7-time champion Ronnie O'Sullivan, but somewhere inside the body of Ronnie O'Sullivan is the greatest snooker player of all time. He needs to find that guy sooner rather than later.